Yo, what is going on, guys? It is TW here, and today I've got some pretty exciting news for you, because as the title says, there will be a slightly unexpected new motocross game in 2017. And I've got quite a lot of information on the game right now, and I will go through everything we know so far from it. So listen carefully, maybe grab a beer if you like, because it's gonna be pretty exciting. Firstly, I want to give a little bit of background information on the people who are making this game. The game, which hasn't got a name yet, is being developed by a group of 7 people who call themselves LCQ Studios. As most of you probably know, LCQ stands for Last Chance Qualifier, and if I'm correct, they call themselves LCQ Studios because they believe that they are considered as the underdogs in the gaming industry, trying to fight their way to the top by working very hard, just like an actual Last Chance Qualifier. They have their own website and Facebook page as well. I will link both of them in the description below, so make sure to check these out as well. So in this video I'll be going through all the features from multiplayer, single player and customization in the game. But to start things off, I've got some general information on it. They're aiming on releasing an alpha version of the game in early or mid 2017, but since they are only working on the game in their free time, it is hard for them to give us a specific date. The game will only be on PC as it stands right now, just because making a console version would take a lot of time and money. But if the game is going to be really popular, there is a possibility that they make it for consoles as well. The minimum or recommended specs are not known yet, but they will be released soon. The game will have controller and keyboard support, and the price of the game will be around $40. And one of the most exciting things in my opinion is that we're going to have 50cc, 85cc and maybe 500cc bikes, as well as the standard 125, 250 and 450 bikes as well, of course. To move on to the features of single player, you can change the number of laps as well as the number of opponents, which is 22 in Supercross, 40 in Motocross and 16 in Arena Cross. But there is a question mark behind Arena Cross, so I don't know whether that's gonna be in the game or not. But we will see about that in the future, of course. There is an option to change the weather or set it to random, which will only be available for Motocross, so not for Supercross. You can ride from the pit to the starting gate with the mechanic on the back of your bike, just like you see them doing in real life, which is very cool, of course. And there will be slight changes in the height map, which means the track is gonna change from lap to lap with the ruts and braking bumps and stuff. There will be the option to do a 3-minute track walk just before qualifying or the race to spot the best lines, for example. The gate pick will be based on an optional short qualifying session, otherwise the gate will be picked randomly. And you gotta be careful with the gas because you can get stuck in the gate if you're trying to be Michael Lessie a little bit too much, for example. You'll be able to choose between 3 main camera angles, which will be third person, helmet cam and free cam. If you crash, you actually have to run back to your bike before you can carry on with the race, which will provide cleaner and smarter racing just like in real life. There will be tear-offs in the game to remove the mud on your screen, just like in MX bikes, for example, but there will be the option to turn that off in single player, and in online servers there will be the option to enforce it or not to enforce it. Different ground types like mud or sand or maybe hard-packed clay will make sure every track feels very different, because different types of soil means different physics, of course. AI riders will have independent rider attitudes, so if you hit an AI rider, for example, he will be more aggressive towards you. And lastly, in single player you can actually wash your bike after a racing session, which is very awesome, of course. For multiplayer, however, there will be no server software during the first few alpha builds that we are probably gonna get mid 2017, but they will come from third party hosting sites. There will be a voice chat as well as a text chat, which I've missed in the other motocross games in the last couple of years. This website says there will be basic server commands via the dev console, but I honestly don't really know what that means. It will be awesome anyway. There will be actual events with practice, qualifying, LCQ, heats, and the main event, of course, just like in real life, as well as the 2 motos for the nationals. There will also be a couple of voting options, for example voting for the next track, voting to kick a player, voting for the amount of laps and voting for the weather. In this way you will have the circumstances that most people in the lobby agree on. So for the customization, you can choose the bike size you're riding on, for example a 250 or 450 or an 85 if you like. You can choose the bike brand, you can choose your own graphics, and you can actually customize the sponsor graphics or add logos to it. Besides that, you can change the colors of the graphics and of the bike plastics, and you can choose your own rider gear and helmet, and you can change the color of that as well. Other than changing the look of your bike, you can also change the setup of the bike, which means you can tune it to the way you like it. And lastly, you can pull the bike off the stand and ride it out of your garage yourself to the test track, which is a very nice little feature, of course. So the last topic I want to talk about is user-created content. And I can tell you that this is pretty big, because the developers of this game are really supporting user-created content, which means it will be easier to all of the fans to create their own gear and bike graphics and tracks. LCQ Studios actually have their own YouTube channel. They've only uploaded one video, but in that video they show an early version of the track creator, which is pretty cool, so I recommend you guys to go watch that video. But before you do, there's one important thing that I still have to mention. LCQ Studios are going to open a Kickstarter soon, which means you can donate money to them. I am definitely gonna do that because I'm a huge fan of their ideas and I know it would be so cool to have a game like this. So I hope you guys are willing to help them out as well. Anyway, if you've made it this far into the video, you're a beast. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and I will see you on my next video.